Hey guys, so I got a question for you.
Hey,
Yep.
What does Thanos like in his coffee?
what?
I don't know.
Half and half.
I see.
Out.
Perfectly balanced, as
Get
all
out.
things should
I'll
be.
see you guys
Get out.
later.
See yourself out, Kevin. Bad. Bad, bad, bad.
This is
Good
a terrible
Lord.
joke.
Oh my God.
uh,
Oh, well, welcome back everyone to
I
the
liked
Real
it.
Heroes show. We got another video here for you today. And in this video, myself, Kevin, and Nick will be diving into some theories. WandaVision is spinning up, as Benoit Blanc would call it, a twisty web of confusion over on Disney Plus. And we have some ideas as to where we think it might be going. We haven't really told each other what these theories are yet, so it might be a little interesting when we find out what they are. But we're gonna dive right into it, and we'll see. In about 6 weeks or so, if any of these are correct or not. So,
Yep.
Nick, I'm gonna let you lead off with your theory, and then we'll dissect it, and then move on to the next one.
Yeah. So, as I mentioned in our episode 3 recap, when Vision breaks the fourth wall, and if you're watching this video first, for some reason, go back and watch that video, like it, and then come back and watch this video so you can hear my theory. But the reason behind him breaking the fourth wall, right? It's to acknowledge the audience, right? That they're in this sort of movie or television show. This is a TV show, and not only that, but it's giving homage to old sitcom TV shows. That's why each episode's kind of transcending from this era to the next era to the next, and so forth. Which I imagine they'll probably get to a more modern uh, timeline of a sitcom that we all probably know a lot more of. Um, but I think in the event that reason why Vision is looking at Wanda and then just for a split second looks directly at the camera and then looks back and then it all glitches back and rewinds, is I think Vision might be telling us that we're trapped. We're actually in this, and that the other characters are potentially there as well. But also when Geraldine kind of gets knocked through the perimeter fence, it is this barricade an actual TV show that Wanda has created to, and why, who knows. Again, I don't know if it's necessarily induced, if it's did she lost control, and then this is her starting to create things like the possibility that she might create mutants down the line, which is another theory I think we talked about in episode 2 ago. But I think there's a big reason, and a nice little hint uh, behind the plot of this being an actual show that we're all in, not necessarily by choice either. Something we as an us are actually watching for our own enjoyment. But in the event that people that are in this show, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, these people, they don't want to be there. Potentially,
Yeah.
they're not trying to be there because they're trapped. And if Vision was somehow recreated into reality by Wanda, that he too realizes that this isn't right. I've been destroyed twice,
Yeah.
once by you and then by Thanos. Sorry, Wanda. But that he hasn't quite put the pieces together because his memory is all sort of jumbled up because his head was destroyed.
Yeah.
That's why Herb and Agnes were like, don't say what's really
Yeah.
going on. But
Right.
so I think there's a big significance behind him breaking the fourth wall, even for a split second. Again, like I said, that was one of my favorite parts in the whole episode. So
Yeah.
there's more
It's
to it.
like a call for help.
Yes,
Huh.
yes,
That's interesting because the first episode, when it goes from square format and widens out, it pans to a sword agent watching the sitcom on
yeah,
TV.
Hmm.
Maybe that's Vision saying, "I know you're watching. shit's going awry.
Yeah, and
Somebody get in here and help us.
and like the radio call from the second episode, Wanda, who's doing this to you?
Yeah.
Like another clue, right? Another weird thing that we just don't know what the hell's going on. But I love these little Easter egg drops that are just starting to add up. So
I like that.
SOS.
Kevin, do you have any thoughts on that? Do you think Nick's onto something, or do you think he's an idiot?
Ha, idiot.
Are those mutually exclusive?
No, not at all.
No, I do think he's onto something. Breaking the fourth wall, though, I'm not sure right now is Vision necessarily purposefully talking to anybody. I think it might just be Vision realizing he's being watched.
Okay.
Yeah, that could be a thing.
That it might just be the beginnings of a realization. My theories right now are similar to, I think, what I've mentioned in past episodes. I do have a theory that Shuri was at least partially successful in extracting Vision, like she was trying to do.
In Infinity War.
Mhm.
Okay.
And I mean, she was almost there, right?
Yeah.
So whatever data she was able to extract, I think they would probably have at least part of a vision at this point. So I think that probably has something to do with it, at least in my head. I do 100% think that they're in this simulation, what have you, unwillingly, most of them at least, and that Monica was sent in to figure out what's going on, or to break it up, disrupt it, helped along, something like that. And furthermore, that once she gets in there, it is extraordinarily disorienting. Which is why we've seen her act confused in the past, not really know her name. She literally says at one point, "I don't know what I'm doing here." And then she breaks that character a little bit more in episode 3, when she has the memory of what happened to Pietro, and she actually mentions Ultron. I don't think that was purposeful. I think that is just her brain trying to make sense of everything that's going on right now.
Yeah.
I don't remember when, but I think, Corey, you made the comparison to being jacked into the Matrix probably for the first time, and your mind not really being able to comprehend what's happening. And so I think something like that is going on. And I do still think that Mephisto is probably pulling the strings somehow.
Yeah, I agree, and that's kind of where my theory is going to go. We're going down to Mephisto's cafe here, and
Yeah.
I think he is the string puller, and I have a few reasons for why I think that is. I think that, to kind of set the stage on it, Infinity War happens, Vision's dead twice, Wanda's dusted, she's gone for 5 years, she comes back, she's insanely powerful. She almost destroys Thanos on her own.
Yeah.
And then after all of that, we have the funeral scene for Tony Stark. Everything happens. That movie ends. You don't really get much more with Wanda. I think she goes into a deep depression following the events of Endgame, because the love of her life is gone. She's going to try to figure out a way to continue on with her life after that. And that is when I think she makes a deal with the devil, literally. I think that she makes a deal with Mephisto, and Mephisto tells her, you can have your perfect, idyllic life, however you want it to be, with your vision, under the pretense that you provide me children with powers. And I think Mephisto wants the kids because he wants their souls, he wants their power, which is a run from the comics that absolutely happened.
Yep.
And I also think that you're seeing Mephisto show up at multiple different points in the show, in multiple iterations. I don't think you've seen the same Mephisto twice. I think that he was the rabbit in the second episode during the magic show, because I think Agnes is actually Agatha Harkness and she's working for him. I feel like that's pretty much a lock at this point. I also think that Mephisto was the stork that hilariously walked around in episode 3. And the reason I say that is because Wanda kept saying, "No, I'm not ready for this. It's too fast. It's too fast. I can't do this." When she's
Right.
laying down in labor, she's like, "No, I'm not ready. I'm not ready." The stork was walking towards her with like a kind of weird, menacing look, kind of like
Yeah.
if Mephisto was saying, "Hey, I'm here to collect. Remember that deal that we made? It's time for you to give me those kids." And she, in this show, at any point in peril, whether it's Mr. Hart choking on his food, whether it's Vision showing his actual abilities and her covering it up with magic, creating the mobile and turning them into real butterflies, she's been able to do anything she wants with her chaos magic.
Yeah.
She tries to get the stork to go away, and he resists it twice. He turns it literally to dust, which I think
Yeah.
is a clever little reference to the Thanos stuff, um, and keeps coming at her, which makes me think that Mephisto is going to be resistant to her powers inside of this environment. So
Yeah.
I know that's a little bit long-winded, but
No, I think it's good, and I think it's very
if
accurate too.
that's where it's going, I think that's amazing and stuff that
Yeah.
like I didn't think we'd ever really see happen in Marvel, and I'm super pumped to see it.
Yeah. Do you think that perhaps everything that happened in uh, the first Doctor Strange movie, and I mean ever since then too, like I mean we've messed with time, we've messed with reality, we've messed with the fabric of the universe at this point. Do you
Yeah.
think that is kind of what unlocks Mephisto, or kind of sets him loose in this reality, or
Yeah,
there's got to kind of be an explanation as to where he came from and why he hasn't been here all along.
Uh,
yeah,
yeah, and I think this could even go back to what Vision said in Civil War, about having that sort of power and inciting, um I'm paraphrasing, but like inciting competition, right? Inciting a new power to come against the
hmm
Avengers, just like it was Loki, Ultron, them like each other, um Thanos. Who's next? Well, I mean, Mephisto is pretty damn powerful.
yeah,
Yeah,
So at this point, with Thanos out of the picture, it's like a perfect time to strike, right? And he's probably been plotting and kind of seeing from afar what's been happening. And it's like, you kind of let, it's like the art of war. You kind of you let them destroy each other, and then you need to, he's just striking when he feels like the iron's hot.
yeah,
And I think you definitely could be onto something. Even just some sort of combination
yeah.
of everything too, right? And again, if they're pulling stuff from the comics, I think it's a safe bet that this is where it's going. It's following somewhat of that path, which is exciting for someone or for
hmm
people who have read the comics or acknowledge them. So
Well,
yeah.
yeah, and it could
It,
tie into Doctor Strange because Mephisto
yeah.
works with Nightmare a lot. Nightmare is
Oh
yeah,
rumored
yeah.
to be the main villain of Doctor Strange 2, which this is supposed to tie into. So
Yeah.
it's all dark dimension, Dormammu type stuff that
Dormammu.
it could. I've come to bargain. Yeah,
Feige has done such a great job of starting off this MCU kind of more grounded
Yeah.
and earthly, and kind of easier to comprehend, and then letting it get progressively more and more weird as we
yep,
go along.
Yep.
And this is probably more than likely a fantastic bridge between the weird and the whoo weird.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
True.
that's what we're probably going to see in this next phase, is some super weird shit going down.
yeah. It's like you thought Guardians of the Galaxy was weird. Just you
Yeah.
wait, right?
I had a quick question for you guys. At the very end, when Geraldine or Monica gets knocked through the perimeter fence or whatever that really is,
Yeah.
and she's still in her her old attire. Do you think that is Sword who rushes to her?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like, and I think that was possibly just standard armed forces protocol. There's been a breach, go act as if it's an enemy or something along those lines. Because I mean, it's like if they know it's Monica, she's a shield or a shield agent, wow, a sword agent, and it's like, oh, it's just Monica, lower your weapons. But they don't know that initially. At the
Yeah.
same time, it's like, what were they really preparing for?
Right.
Because it wasn't just like one troop. This was like
Yeah.
Yeah.
vehicles,
There's
Well, they, they
tanks,
helicopters,
they probably
helicopters.
don't know what they're preparing for, right?
Right.
that
And
too,
that's,
right?
I mean, if Corey's right, and she's kind of Wanda has created this entire world for herself, with the help of Mephisto, and she's just living there inside this bubble with Vision. Um, that would be an appropriate response to a strange occurrence. Would be to send Sword down, barricade off the perimeter,
Yep.
investigate. At some point, you send somebody in to see what's happening.
Beekeeper.
Um, the beekeeper. Then you come back out and you go, "This is what's going on. Dress her like this. Send her back in."
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I think all of that kind of it works together to paint this big picture. So I think honestly, I think we're onto something here. You heard it here first, people.
Yep.
One quick thing to touch on before we wrap up with Monica still being in her 70s attire. It makes me wonder, because Monica didn't enter in her 70s attire. She probably
Yeah.
entered in a sword outfit, and then she ended up in 60s attire when she's introduced as Geraldine,
Yep.
and then she's in 70s attire when she's Geraldine in the third episode. But then
Yep.
when she gets bounced back out into reality, she's still in the 70s attire, which
Yep.
makes me think, if there's anything that Wanda wills into existence inside of this bubble, if it somehow makes it out, does that thing continue to live on? Oh,
Like her,
like her kids.
like her twins. Oof.
What about
And
like Vision?
And Vision
or
too.
Vision, right? Could that set up,
Hey.
like a Young Avengers type thing? Because it seems like, Cassie Lang is going to be in the third Ant-Man movie. They're
Yep.
doing Haley Steinfeld is
Yep.
Kate Bishop
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Wiccan and Speed are part of the Young Avengers in the comics at one point. So
Very
if at
true.
some point, if the two of them end up escaping from the
I
bubble,
feel, I think you
That'd be
got a
awesome,
good point there,
honestly.
because I feel like they're setting up Iron Lad as well,
Mhm.
with what's his name, the kid from Iron Man 2.
Oh, from like Tennessee or whatever. That
Yeah,
meets up
Oh
with
yeah.
because he shows up at
at
Tony's
the
funeral,
funeral.
Yep.
Yeah.
so why bring him back for
Uh-huh.
no other reason and not mention his name?
Right.
They don't talk about him. Nobody says who
That's
he is, but that's him.
the secret
Um,
there. Yeah.
Yep.
right?
And Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel,
Yep.
also there. There's a lot of younger Avengers that are showing up, so we shall see. But
Yeah.
there's a lot. There's so many different ways they can go, and that's what makes all of this so damn exciting for us nerds out here. So I think that's enough, or else we could probably go on for another hour and a half spewing about all of our theories. But now we turn to you, people of the internet. We would love to hear your theories on where this is going. So if you would like to
Yes.
drop a comment below, let us know where you think WandaVision is heading. What's going on with Monica Rambeau? Is Mephisto actually there? Is Agnes actually Agatha Harkness? What's up with Vision breaking the fourth wall and looking right into a camera that may or may not actually be there? Who knows? So we'd love to hear your thoughts. Please, if you like the video and the content we're providing for you here, drop a like on it, give us a subscribe, make sure you turn on those notifications so that way you never miss another video from us here. And we will be back next week talking about episode 4 of WandaVision. We'll break down the episode, we'll present more theories, and we'll get sweaty with you. So until next time, we'll see you in the next video.